All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday, November 5th. We're here for the Marion County Board of Commissioners Board Session. It's 9 a.m. We're in the Senator Hearing Room at 555 Court Street in Salem. And if you would, please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Just for the record, on the agenda, we have a proclamation first, but I'm just going to note for the record, we don't have anybody signed up for public comment. We have a proclamation to consider: approval honoring veterans and celebrating November 11th, 2025 as Veterans Day in Marion County and declaring November 5th, 2025 through November 12th, 2025 as Green Light for Veterans Week. AJ.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
For the record, my name is Alvin Clausen. I am Marion County's Friendly Neighborhood Government Relations Manager. Today I'm going to be introducing, and I have the honor of introducing, the 2025 Veterans Day Proclamation, honoring those who have served in the U.S. Armed Forces. A moment to recognize their sacrifice, dedication, and continued service to our community. So there's a historic context this year. It's a very special year. Next year, we celebrate 250 years of the United States, which is an important milestone in our history. But that only happened because 250 years ago this year, we stood up the United States Army, Navy, and most importantly, the United States Marine Corps.
Spoken from a Marine, for the record.
I say that, I'm a little bit biased because I was a Marine who served in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Careful, there's others behind you that are not Marines.
I also want to recognize my brothers and sisters in arms in the U.S. Coast Guard. And as the invention of flight was created, we have the U.S. Air Force. And as we anticipate our exploration into space, we have recently set up the United States Space Force. So thank them for their service as well, and mostly the Marine Corps. Together, those branches represent 250 years of courage, innovation, and selfless service. They have defended not only our nation, but the very ideals that make us Americans. Marion County honors these veterans in our community. Many of them are our colleagues across the county. They finished their service to our nation, and now they're serving in the county and continue that service in the county. And, their dedication to our county, we see it every single day. And we don't notice that a lot of them are veterans because they took off the uniform, but every once in a while, I'll run into, people in finance or people in IT or people in the sheriff's office who are continuing to serve our nation at the county level. And I appreciate that. As Commissioner Bethel said, Marion County is going to be participating in Operation Green Light, which is put on by NACO. We are going to be celebrating November 5th to 12th by lighting county buildings up green. The city of Salem is going to light their pedestrian bridge green. The city of Woodburn said they would light their I-5 bridge green, and other community members will be participating by lighting it green. So, in closing, I would like to honor our veterans. We celebrate their legacy of service with freedom, and we enjoy them every single day. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Alvin. We seem to have a phone ringing somewhere.
Sorry, hello. Thank you, AJ.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your service before and now, and for bringing this forward and for organizing community cities across Woodburn to participate in Operation Green Light. NACO, for those that don't know, is the National Association of Counties, and there will be counties across the nation doing the exact same thing that we're doing, lighting up their neighborhoods and government buildings. And you can go to their website, and we can be publishing what it looks like across the country and be joining in that through their social media. And I would encourage everyone to do it at their houses too. I already changed my light bulbs So if you come out to the Almsville area, you're gonna see houses, well, not just mine, with like green light bulbs, which I think is a great idea.
It is a great idea,
Yeah.
definitely.
Do y'all have anything you wanna add before we go into the proclamation?
Well, I just want to say, I want to recognize you, AJ, and Matt, and the other veterans in our office, in the board's office. I feel like we've done a better job recognizing veterans and making it more a part of maybe the public policy of Marion County because of your advocacy. And I've just seen how hard you work for veterans in our community, how enthusiastic and passionate you are, and I just can't help but admire people who are passionate about doing good in our community and finding a place where they can really excel. So I just want to say thank you for your work specifically and for the passion you bring to our service to our veterans. Really important, something that I care about, but I think having somebody who makes it front and center often is a really important thing. So thanks for your work.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. AJ, I just want to say this. I think everybody here, even if we didn't serve, we know somebody who did serve at all different levels. And Commissioner Willis, when we were back advocating for NACO and AOC issues, we were blessed because he had a friend that took us on a tour of the Pentagon. And one of my closest high school friends ended up retiring as a rear admiral from the Pentagon as the highest ranking chaplain. And when we got to go through the Pentagon, it was the first time I saw the United States Space Force. Remember that when we went by there? And I was just sitting here thinking, in my lifetime, and my wife, her father was a Marine pilot in World War II and Korea. And I'm thinking, my grandfather, I don't know, I'm just trying to think of World War I. Is there any relationship of World War I, people who have served from, our lifetime, those of us that are sitting here that have served since the, this 1900s up to right now. And it's amazing when you said we're going to be 250 years old next year. The bicentennial was in 1976. And I was just a young, long-haired hippie in 1977. I went around the United States in a Volkswagen van. I'm not going to say what it said on the van.
Thank you.
But it was the first time I got to Washington, D.C. and to walk up the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and weep, to think about what leaders we've had in this country that have helped shape our country in the face of all kinds of interesting things. And so I look up there and I see all those 7 emblems of the different forces. I think of all the things in my lifetime and the people that I've known before, that served before I was even born. And it's just a great place to know the dedication of the people. Many of them are sitting in this room, and you forgot Public Works when you were talking about people, because our Public Works director was, what do you call those guys? Navy CB. Yeah. So throughout the whole county and this country, there's people that have done all kinds of things. And I could talk all day. I know on this recent vacation I went on, and I shared a little book with you. I met this gentleman who was Air Force intelligence, CIA, has written a couple of books, and just very interesting stuff in our country that we just do not understand, and I'm just so thankful for. So thank you for your service, and not only here at Marion County, but what you've done before you came here as an individual, and I'm just honored to be here to be a part of this proclamation.
Well,
Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right, who wants to move it?
I will.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve a proclamation honoring veterans and celebrating November 11th, 2025 as Veterans Day in Marion County, and declaring November 5th, 2025 through November 12th, 2025 as Green Light for Veterans Week.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes. All right, Commissioner.
In the matter of honoring veterans through Operation Greenlight, a proclamation. This matter came before the Marion County Board of Commissioners at its regularly scheduled public meeting on Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. Whereas Veterans Day is a time for our nation to honor and recognize the men and women who have served in the armed forces of the United States with courage, dedication, and sacrifice. And whereas Marion County is home to thousands of veterans who have worn the uniform of our country with pride, defending freedom, protecting democracy, and safeguarding the values upon which our nation was founded. And
whereas we also honor the continuing service of Marion County employees who are veterans, whose commitment to public service extends beyond their military careers and enriches our community each and every day. And whereas this year marks a significant moment in our nation's history as we reflect on the 250th anniversaries of the United States Army, United States Navy, and the United States Marine Corps, institutions whose strength, perseverance, and devotion to duty have helped secure 250 years of American liberty, prosperity, and peace. And whereas our country prepares to celebrate 250 years of independence in 2026, we are reminded that the milestone is made possible by generations of American service members who stood guard over our freedoms, often at a great personal cost. And
whereas Marion County proudly joins communities across the nation in showing support for those who have served and participating in Operation Greenlight, an initiative recognizing the contributions of America's veterans. From November 5th through November 12th, Marion County buildings will be illuminated in green as a visible tribute of gratitude and unity with our veterans and their families. And now, therefore, the Marion County Board of Commissioners does hereby recognize November 11th, 2025 as Veterans Day in Marion County and encourages all residents to honor, thank, and support the veterans in our community and across the nation, not only this day, but every day of the year. Dated at Salem, Oregon, this 5th day of November. And now we're going to take a picture. And anybody that is a veteran in the audience, would you please come forward? Including the sheriff. Oh, I don't know what he did with them. Did you sign those proclamations, Kevin?
oh, no,
Okay.
but I can, I will.
Nice to meet you.
How are you? Good, it's nice to see you. Hi. Thanks for coming down. Go ahead and stand in the middle.
Just three.
There's four. Bring your hand out and I'll take one for our record.
Scoot in.
I know, I was waiting for the commissioner to turn.
Mine is right.
Yep, you are. Yeah.
Tie this to this side.
Oh, just
Way more
kidding.
sense. There you go.
Okay.
Everybody in frame, you ready? 3, 2, 1. Good, thank you.
Yes, you can have it.
You can frame it.
Did they give any back to you? Did you take one? I have. Okay. All right. Now we'll move on to a presentation from the Strategic Economic Development Corporation, otherwise known as SEDCOR of the Mid-Willamette Valley, their quarterly report. Sarah.
Good morning. My name is Sarah Kudley. I'm the Economic Development Specialist in the Community Services Department. This morning we are hosting Strategic Economic Development Corporation, also known as SEDCOR, to provide their quarterly report on their work in business retention and expansion services for Marion County. Marion County has a grant agreement with SEDCOR allocating $160,000 annually from our Economic Development Program funds to SEDCOR to perform trade sector business support services, and this contract is set to expire on June 30th of 26. With that short introduction, I'm going to turn it over to Eric Anderson, SEDCOR's president, and Kip Morris, SEDCOR's business retention and expansion manager.
Thank you, Sarah. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Also glad to be here as part of the Veterans Day celebration. I appreciate your support for that. Just a reminder for folks that may not be aware what SEDCOR does. We leverage public and private partnerships to successfully grow, retain, and attract high-value jobs and capital investment. I guess I should take a step back. For the record, I'm Eric Anderson with SEDCOR.
Kip Morris with SEDCOR.
We'll start with, our presentation is consistent with our work plan that actually will be coming up for review in 2026. So we look forward to having the county engaged in our strategic planning session for the next 5 years. But first is expansion, retention, and targeted recruitment of traded sector businesses. And these are all Kip's projects, so I'll let him cover these.
Thank you, Eric. Vans Aircraft. Vans is looking to expand, and they would love to expand up in the Aurora Airport area. However, the facility that they're looking for is 100,000 square feet, and so it makes it a bit of a challenge for them. So we're currently working with them to find that facility. They're looking to move their whole warehouse and supply part of that operation off-site so that they can shore up their production on-site next to the airfield and as a result of their growth. So they're doing really well out at Vans, and we're looking forward to helping them with that growth. Mega Motors, that one is very unique. If you've never heard of balcony solar, I'm sure you've heard of net metered solar. So this is a net metered application of solar that is small scale solar, and it's end user friendly to the point that you can plug it right into that 120 outlet, flip a switch, and you'll have net metered solar in your house. So this company is growing out of Silverton, Oregon. Jay's Teriyaki. The poor owner of Jay's Teriyaki is developing carpal tunnel from all the sauces that she's having to make because her business to customer model for sauces has tripled. So she is looking to expand her sauce manufacturing and bring that to market. So both the Mega Motors and the Jay's Teriyaki have been really good examples of the Launch Mid-Valley program that we have. Those are both participants of that program now to help them shore up their business startups. And the last one on the list is Scenic Fruit. Scenic Fruit is going through an increase in production and facility upgrades. So they're doing a lot of work for career development for their employees. They're putting in new roofing and new equipment. So we've got them connected with a number of our state and local agencies to help them with all aspects of that project. Pacific Coast Producers, or you may have previously known them as Oregon Cherry Growers. Oregon Cherry Growers is looking to increase their production as well. They have 30% capacity for production, so they're looking to bring in new production, and in addition to that, they're looking to skill up their current workforce to support that production and those new jobs.
One interesting note with Oregon Cherry Growers is that I had heard through the grapevine of retention expansion project happening in the Dalles with Oregon Cherry Growers, and I thought, well, if they're looking at expanding in the Dalles, maybe we should be doing some outreach to the folks here in Salem to see, if this is going to be competition. So I think that the timing was good. That does sound like these folks will be bringing in some production from the other facility to Salem. Thank you to the commissioners for attending the Don Pancho celebration. That's as we talk about projects that we really love to see a company that started in 1,700 square feet over 30 years ago and now into over 300,000 square feet. Hope you were all able to take the tour portion of it. You didn't make it. The first time I had seen that space at NORPAC, it was a dirt floor. So just to see what they have been able to do in a relatively short period of time to shore up a food processing facility. It's about a $52 million project, at least as we did the paperwork for the enterprise zone. That's going to be roughly $980,000 in property tax and revenue for the communities. We've also been able to work with them in the Department of Agriculture for the food. Now that their food processing machinery and equipment certification program is broader, some of their equipment may be eligible for that, and that gives them an extra year. So we're just working with them to figure out which program is similar to what we did with Oregon Hazelnut Growers,
Right.
Hazelnut Growers of Oregon. Project Gridline is a data center project I think I had mentioned as a possibility previously. This isn't one of the huge campus projects. This is one that's looking at a Mill Creek site. We did have our first pre-application meeting with the City of Salem, various departments, and that continues to move forward. The kind of initial challenge is going to be the heritage oak trees that are in that last site at Mill Creek, and trying to figure out how to avoid impacting them as much as possible. We'll talk about Barber Pole.
Yeah, so Project Barber Pole is a waste-to-energy project that is continuing to move forward. It's over a $500 million project, and it's one of a couple of projects that we have teed up for waste-to-energy. There's a lot of interest in this area, not just on a commercial level with large waste streams, but also from production standpoint. So if we have producers, for example, cabinet door is a really good one. They make a wood product. Their byproduct, they have to ship to a landfill. That could very easily turn into, for lack of a better term, a pellet stove that turns a generator that makes electricity. That would help offset their $60,000 a month electric bill. So as we look for opportunities to increase energy production, I think that that's one area that should take a little bit more investigating in, because I believe that there's a lot of opportunity to shore up the energy production of our current production facilities versus large-scale energy production sites.
I'm certainly sure that you're aware that we have had some barriers put in the stream of waste to energy in Marion County, and we literally have a facility that you could turn the switch on and make it work again if industry partners would have been more aggressive against Senate Bill 488. So tell me more about Project Barber Pole and what that means, because if I'm being totally honest, it feels like we've missed the opportunity with already a $50 million investment that's sitting in Brooks. So what are we talking about here?
With Project Barber Pole, that is waste to energy. We are under an NDA for that project. I can tell you that it is waste to energy, and the conversations that we've had with the partners that are involved, their system, they believe will meet all DEQ requirements, especially under Senate Bill 488, to be able to reconstitute energy production.
But it has to be cited through Marion County's land use process. So,
Correct.
all right, well, I'm just gonna tell you right now, NDA or not, like, this board's pretty passionate about waste to energy facilities, and taking a new investment somewhere offline of what we just have had in Brooks would be frustrating to me to be left out of the conversation. So we should have that conversation.
You are involved in the conversation.
Thank you.
And it is targeting Brooks facility, reuse
great.
of the existing facility.
Like, I'm pretty, like, committed to the fact that I don't want more EFU land upended when we already have something.
The Barber Pole name of the project is symbolic of the Brooks facility.
Love it.
So, yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we are, the excitement we have for the project is, one, it's reuse of an existing facility, obviously, and these folks feel like they have a technology, as Kip mentioned, that will satisfy the criteria that's now been
And I know what
created.
you're talking about. You don't have to carry it. Yes, there is something happening elsewhere. I just want to make sure it's the same thing. Thank you. Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
And speaking of innovation and entrepreneurship, Kip mentioned the Launch Mid-Valley Regional Innovation Hub. We've received 2 additional years of funding from Business Oregon to maintain the Launch Mid-Valley, and the focus of that is both being able to contract with Mike White, our venture catalyst, to be able to help businesses like Chase Teriyaki and Miga Motors to identify ways that they can be better prepared to attract investment income as well, or investment dollars, as well as other resources to help them grow their new businesses. We also, have funding to do events like Pitch Willamette. I think some of the commissioners have been to in the past, so we'll be doing one of those each year for the next 2 years. Also focusing on outreach to our manufacturers to identify those that have innovation opportunities, and be able to connect them with the Centers for Innovation Excellence around the state that has also been funded through the Oregon Innovation Council.
In this particular lane, what does your partnership look like with businesses in Jackson County? They don't have like a SEDCOR down there. There's a significant lack of representation at the state level. I just was down on a tour for another project I'm working on in life, and met with 3 major industry partners in the technology space that are really frustrated. Are you working in Jackson County?
We don't work in Jackson County, but.
I mean, I know you aren't specifically.
So READY, the Southern Oregon Regional Economic Development, Inc., they're kind of a sister organization of SEDCOR. They've been around just, about 40 years, just like us. They also have an innovation hub, and we actually can, feel free to send me the contacts, and I would assume they might know these folks, but if there's opportunities to connect with them, I'm happy to make those introductions.
I didn't know there was a sister organization down there, and I've been down there 3 times in the last 2 months, and there's a significant lack of awareness on the industry side and the innovation side. One of the complaints that I'm hearing the most is workforce and stabilization and opportunity for growth. I suggested maybe they should use an airport that happens to be in Medford and just start flying them in from California, because it's like less than an hour airline trip, and it's more affordable than going out of business or not being able to expand. We have some real awesome technology partners down there. What comes to mind is like Agility Robotics and their need for having particular types of engineers and different types of science minds to do that work. And we don't have I think, an education system that's producing that type of workforce. And so we're kind of stuck. And there's a huge industry in Jackson County that is really frustrated.
Well, if you had some contacts down there, I'd be happy
I
to
do.
at least offer up some introductions. And Dr. Kim Fries is the counterpart to us. I mean, she's kind of running the innovation hub down there.
Okay.
But she's entrepreneur herself. She has a little bit of Mike White kind of enthusiasm, but she's also pretty well connected. I think she was a professor at Southern Oregon University, also in entrepreneurship and business, in addition to owning her own businesses over time.
Okay. These aren't like startups. They're like, I mean, the one particular business I'm thinking about, it's like a multi-million-dollar, if not billion-dollar a year industry that's stuck. It has real international growth abilities in Jackson County. In fact, I invited them to just move to Marion County.
I was hoping you brought that up in the conversation.
I was like, just relocate your entire plant in Marion County. I know a guy. Yeah. Okay.
And just as you mentioned, agility. One of the conversations, I've seen a quote from Jonathan Hurst at Agility Robotics talking about an ecosystem of innovation. And I reached out to him when I saw his quote and wanted to just get a feel for what they're seeing with respect to labor. And I was actually very happy to hear that they, for the assembly type work that they have at Agility, that seems to be, given their location and the ability to look at 3 different labor markets, they had good luck attracting employees for that. It's the executive level types, and I don't know if that's trailing spouse employment or what some of the issues might be, but they've had a little more trouble with that, and as a result, some of that's down in Palo Alto now. But we've been trying to engage the businesses we have here to kind of let us know what their needs are. Tell us how we're here to help. So how can we help? We have the Ag Innovation Hub as well. That's the work that Alex Paraskevas and our team leads. We've received some funding from the Ford Family Foundation to actually support growers in the region that are participating in the Farmer Network to host field trials. They do have to take some risk if they're going to try, robotic tractors or new technologies or new processes. So for the next 3 years, we'll be really trying to do some outreach to more farmers here to get them more engaged, and we'll be highlighting that at our Ag Breakfast in February. And yesterday, we received funding for the Latino Microenterprise Development Program. We're going to start a kind of a 2.0 course for businesses that have already kind of graduated from the first one, and go a little bit deeper in helping them to grow their businesses and support it, and that will be centered here in Marion County.
Just came out of a meeting with the SEDCOR Construction Alliance this morning at 8. We meet the first Wednesday of every month. We continue to support the construction industry through community projects, establishing career pathways, and connecting service providers. 2 of the things that we've been working on is both CPACE and MERL gap financing. We continue to move forward with the Gilbert House project, and then we've recently been presented with an opportunity to duplicate some of the work in Carlton with the sidewalk project there with the Willamette Heritage Center. So we're looking to connect some youth with the opportunity to get some skills and earn a little bit of money. Oh, and then, yeah, the Industrial Maintenance Training Program. So SEDCOR Willamette Workforce Partnership, through their Train to Retain program, OMEP, which is Oregon Manufacturing Extension Program, and private contractors are working together, specifically with Pacific Coast producers, to constitute on-site training for their technicians so that they can retain their institutional knowledge and then skill up their workforce from entry level to journey level. The WWP Train to Retain program is a really good fit for that.
And that's what they're now calling incumbent worker training. So
Yeah. Oh, North Marion Business Services Alliance. We participated in 2 business service roundtables at the Chemeketa-Woodburn campus and the Brooks campus. We've been involved with the Business Boost ROI program and all things NMBSA. Everything's going really smooth there. We're very well connected, and they're moving forward in a good pace. The MERL program, what it is a state program, Senate Bill 1537-2024, that gives 0% loans to cities, counties, or sponsoring jurisdictions. Locals then award grants to developers to build or convert housing for households that are at or less than 120% of average area median income. That is a gap financing program. CPACE is another one that we mentioned for a financing mechanism that lets commercial, industrial, agricultural, and multifamily property owners fund energy-related upgrades or new construction efficiency measures through a long-term assessment on their property tax bill.
We have CPACE here.
not yet. We've been trying to, I think we've had a couple conversations with the county in the past on it.
Well, I know, okay, I just want to make sure that, like, I've said no to it because of the cost, the burden on the county, and nobody's been able to give me a reason as to why taxpayers should have to pay the cost of that. Still waiting for a solution, because I'm not gonna support that out of the general fund kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, Madam Chair, we've had a lot of requests for it.
we had two.
I think AJ did some research on it, he's still here, did some research on it, and the issue was us not, the bank being in first position
Right.
on the loan, and then the taxpayers run the hook for that loan. I think that was the issue, unless we can find some way to.
And we have to build an entirely new program for the county to oversee it.
Well, I think there's other people that could administer it out there. I think that was that hurdle we probably could get around. The big hurdle that I remember was the banks being able to be in the first position on the property, and the county, they would repossess the county, and we would be out that money. So I mean, that would be, I would love to have a further discussion with you if you've got some experts that can say how that's not the case, so.
Well, those are both the cases, and I think to have a conversation, those things need to not be the case anymore. I don't want to have the same discussion again.
Yeah.
We've had this conversation twice with two different economic development partners, and unless the program's evolved and those things can be solved.
Yeah, I think cities can do it, right?
City of Salem will be looking at it.
Yeah,
And once again, it's developer driven. They've got developers that are saying, you know,
We need this or we want this,
or
yeah.
we would like it, yeah, so.
Yeah, we've heard from two developers around the county, and I'm happy to talk to them, and also, like, we're not, for me, it's a hard stretch to say I'm gonna take on a project that I might not recover taxpayer dollars on to benefit somebody's personal growth financially. Like that, I don't use taxpayer dollars to make somebody else money, and I don't think the program has changed any unless you want to set up a meeting and tell us that it has, which I would.
Well, and my understanding of the program is it really just impacts the bank. You know, from the bank perspective, it allows them to give a 30-year term on what normally would be a 15-year term for the appropriate type of equipment and other things used to promote sustainability initiatives with a business, whether it's retrofitting for earthquake, seismic retrofitting, new water systems, energy efficient lighting, those sorts of things. But the solar industry, I know, has used it in many rural areas as well.
It's not that we don't know what the program is.
Yeah.
Like, we've had lots of salespeople call us on the phone. We've had 2 extensive work sessions where we've had brokers, if you will, of this come and try to pitch the county. And again, it's not just the bank. There is a burden to the county and the taxpayers, and I don't know who designed the program. I don't recall that information, but again, the city's doing it and they want to take on that burden and liability. Awesome. And for us, it's not something we've said no to. We're just
Right.
saying we can't do it with these two particular things hanging out there, and it would need to be modified.
Well, as more places around Oregon are adapting, Hood River County now has it. I think Cynthia Pendleton has it. I mean, I think we'll see more examples that are more appropriate to look at from a Marion County perspective, rather than Multnomah County and Washington County, where, the program has really started in Oregon.
Okay,
So we'll keep you posted as we
Great.
learn more.
okay.
Yeah, all right, so some metrics we have, let's see, 6 community visits, 36 business visits, 4 SEDCOR events in Marion County, 18 partner-hosted events, 27 committee meetings, and 3 trainings.
And our recent events here, we had the SEDCOR Annual Awards and Membership Meeting on September 12th. Also, just last week, we hosted, Garmin hosted an industry tour there. They're getting very good at this because they also hosted the Oregon Business and Industry Tour. But just as an aside, it's just really exciting to see what Garmin, what they do for the community. And, I'm glad that we're able to help them highlight themselves, because, the more you learn about that company, the prouder I am that they've chosen to grow here. And some upcoming events, we talked about the Launch Mid-Valley. In years past, we have done the Oregon Angel Food Marketplace, which is an opportunity for consumer packaged goods businesses, food manufacturers and beverage manufacturers to come together, sell to the public, practice their pitches for their business, and maybe attract some corporate buyers as well. We've had success with companies getting into Albertsons as a result, Safeway Albertsons. I think we can trace some of the Don Burger at Burgerville back to connecting Don Froylan with Burgerville.
Their cheese.
So this is coming up. In years past, we've had this at the Chemeketa Community College Ag Complex, which is a great facility. But Oregon Entrepreneurs Network, who we do this with, said, it'd be really good to get some more foot traffic and, have it a little more convenient for people to show up. So the Grand Hotel has stepped in and offered to host this. So this will be in the lobby of the Grand Hotel on the afternoon of November 21st. So opportunity to taste some good food, buy some stocking stuffers for the season, or maybe for your Thanksgiving meal. So encourage you to stop by. We've got 22 businesses that will be, we've sold out as far
In
as.
the Grand Hotel lobby?
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Don't tell the fire marshal.
But yeah, it's a really great opportunity just to talk to entrepreneurs also. Every one of these folks is passionate about what they're making, what they're doing, and it's always a pleasure. Then we do have a date for the Ag Breakfast, as I mentioned before. It's Friday the 13th, February. But we're already working on I think we've almost finalized the agenda for that. It'll be another good, hopefully inspirational event, and that will be once again at the Ag Complex.
Great.
Yeah, and just, per our strategic plan, and, in 5 years, we want the Mid-Willamette Valley to be known as a great place to start or grow business, equitable, inclusive business community, and a region with unique strengths in agriculture, food production, manufacturing, and technology. And with that last one, I just feel we've been engaged with Business Oregon as they look at their industrial strategies and target industries, and they've been doing some analysis and reaching out to some of their economic development partners around the state. And I'm happy to say that food and beverage, advanced manufacturing, wood products, they're all showing up on their, our key industries are all showing up on their key industries for Oregon. So.
What about nurseries?
With agriculture, that's what we include in that with agriculture.
I had a meeting earlier this week with one of the largest nurseries we have in the county, and I was frustrated when I left hearing that the Department of Water the state level is not actually by choice and not statute or rule helping with growth in water distribution. And it's stifling the growth of nursery partners here in Marion County. When I looked into the rules and the laws around it, there was literally nothing in law that says they can't navigate distribution of water or shared water or creative systems that the Nursery Association has presented to the state. I think it's an area where SEDCOR should lean in. There's ways to utilize water through ponds and instead of just drawing it out of wells and depleting those resources. And the state's not being an active partner to these industries. For me, I mean, I could make a bunch of noise around it policy-wise, but I think Business Oregon should be the primary voice at the table with its neighboring agencies to say, hey, like, yes, and how do we figure it out? I would encourage you to reach out to the Nursery Association partners here in Marion County and ask about that.
Oh, sure thing. And if you'd like to make an introduction to the people you met with, please
yeah, I will.
Introduce us.
I did send an email to the Director of Business Oregon saying, hey, I think we need to have a conversation in Marion County.
Was Jeff Stone there, the director, the executive director of the Oregon Nurseries Association?
No, I didn't meet with the association.
Okay.
I met with one of the largest members of it, but I know that the association is involved in the conversation. There's just, our job as elected officials in this space isn't to create barriers, it's to create access and balance. And I get that environmental impacts are a concern for the agenda, the Democrats, the governor, all of that, and fine. My opinion is agriculture partners aren't going to go deplete their number one resource, which is water, so they can continue to maintain income and access for them currently and future generations. And so I just don't get it. And that's essentially what I said to the director in my email was like, it's your job to parrot this to your agency partners. And I think SEDCOR has a role to play in kind of highlighting the opportunities and the desire to do environmental protections at this level too, and they're aligned.
Well, and I think if we start looking, we talk about innovation, and I think the state often defines innovation as we always talk about the white lab coats at Intel. And our response is always there's innovation in every industry. So that's part of the opportunity we have by doing the ag innovation work is to point out that there are these not only resources, but it is new technologies often, it's new opportunities to do new things with new processes, et cetera. We've got a good working relationship with OSU on a lot of different areas, and I think the new folks at NREC,
Steve Young.
I mean, they're very scrappy. We love scrappy people in those positions because I think they have the resource. They want to develop resources to help meet those needs and grow our key industry.
Yeah, I think kind of in the same lane as your barber pole project or whatever it was called, and trying to find a resource for healthier uses of debris. Nursery and agriculture industry partners right now are in the innovation space for recycling water. This particular partner recycles 98% of the water use on their property, and they're the largest nursery in the county. And they need a place to recycle it into, to draw it out of, and the state has said, we'll slow roll that and probably never give it to you. So I just think if you're gonna work on the barber pole type industry, this is just another lane to skylight like innovation in a space that we need real attention on. I didn't realize how big the nursery industry was in Marion County until this week. I mean, I know a lot of people that have nurseries, but we kind of own the market on that, and I didn't know it.
Yeah, it's our number one agricultural product in Marion County.
And we do.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like when we target those
Well,
industries,
hazelnuts actually is, but
By gross volume.
oh,
By
Yes.
dollar volume, the nursery industry is.
right.
and I think that's authentic economic development. I mean, that's, those are the industries that are here. They're the traditional industries that we have here, and if there's things that we can be doing to help them both maneuver and navigate these kinds of issues as well as, invest in the future. I think that's what we're here for.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
Happy to answer any other questions you've got.
I don't have any, I like just to interrupt you throughout the whole thing, so I don't have any more questions.
I do.
Yeah.
Eric, Sedcor used to have almost like a monthly forum lunch. What happened there and what's the reasons
Just
behind it?
really post-COVID has come down to just having, you know, the numbers we were getting. So we tried to do it now quarterly, but we've also, you know, added back industry tours and some other things.
Yeah.
We really did want to try to do an industry forum in November, and we just haven't been able to put it together. So at our staff meeting this week, we talked about a renewed calendar, you know, going into 2026 of the industry insights.
Well, maybe we should partner with you on that, because I think there's particular things that we would like to bring to the education forefront of
Oh, we'd love
community
that.
members. And there's ways for Chip and Sarah to lean in on the county's perspective and establish, I mean, monthly might be too much for us, but
Right.
quarterly.
Yeah.
I can come up with 4 topics right now that I would like the world to know more about when it comes to economic development across Marion County.
And I think we've had 4 or 5 this year, the industry insights, but, you know, I think those times when it was, you know, between, every quarter there was a time where we had an industry insight, a board meeting, maybe it's an economic forum, you know, it just got to be like, that's a lot for a small staff. So we've tried to combine some of those, so like on the industry insight days, our economic forum, you know, that sort of thing. But, you know, we'd love to hear topics and have partners in that. You know, we've been trying to do that as, you know, as the opportunity comes up at Industry Insights, someone will come up to us and say, hey, have you thought about doing a topic on this? And then we'll put a panel together. That's how it worked with the logistics panel we did, the food processing panel we did. So, yeah, we'd love to have that partnership with you.
Okay. Great. We'll figure it out.
Good.
Chip shook his head. Okay, great.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Commissioners, do you have anything else?
Thank you for your
All
presentation.
right, yeah,
Thank
thanks for
you.
the work you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Let's move on to the consent agenda. Who read it last week? All right, it's all you.
Me?
Yeah, you get to do 2 things
He
in a
was
row.
chairing and I read it.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I move the consent agenda under Board of Commissioners. OLCC application, recommend approval of Standard Liquor Company in Salem, Oregon. Under Business Services, approve the public improvement agreement with G.R. Smith Construction Corporation. The amount of $171,140 to provide construction services for the interior refurbishment of the Marion County Justice Courts located on Portland Road in Salem, Oregon through June 30th, 2026. Approve the public improvement agreement with Ross Builders Northwest LLC in the amount of $843,097 to provide construction services for tenant improvements to the first floor of the Marion County Health and Human Services Building located on Center Street in Salem, Oregon through June 30th, 2026. Under Finance, approve a quitclaim deed to transfer ownership of tax foreclosed property for tax account 588709 from Marion County to Slavic, I'm not gonna get this one right, Kotsyu Butchuk, the land sale contract holder. Approve the incoming funds franchise agreement with Spectrum Pacific West LLC, DBA, Charter Communications to provide cable television services in Marion County through November 5th, 2035, with the county receiving an annual franchise fee of 5% of the gross annual receipts received from all operations of the cable system within the county. Approve the incoming funds cable television franchise agreement with Wave Division 7 LLC to provide cable television services in Marion County through November 5th, 2035, with the county receiving an annual franchise fee of 5% of the gross annual receipts received from all operations of the cable system within the county. Under Health and Human Services, approve amendment number 3 to the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Health Authority to add $1,576,997.98 for program element PE 51-01 LPHA Leadership Governance and Program Implementation and PE 51-05 CDC PH Infrastructure Funding for a new contract total of $7,510,892.60, retroactive to September 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2027. Approve amendment number 4 to the contract for services with Bridgeway Community Health to add $141,843.98 for service element A and D 66 detox for a new not-to-exceed contract total of $808,375.92 through December 31st, 2025. And approve amendment number 15 to the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Health Authority to extend the term date to December 31st, 2025 and add $7,428,920.69 to be allocated to the following for a new IGA total of $32,075,591.08. A&D 66, Community Behavioral and Substance Use Disorder Services. MHS 01, System Management Coordination. MHS 04, Aid and Assist Client Services. MHS 12, Rental Assistance Program Services. MHS 17, Non-OHP Community and Residential Assistance. And MHS 30, Monitoring, Security, and Supervision Services for individuals under the jurisdiction of the Adult and Juvenile Panels of the Psychiatric Security Review Board. Under Human Services, approve the recommendation to update the classifications and uphold the pay grades for class codes number 089, Mental Health Evaluation Specialist, 108, Care Coordinator, 114, Policy Analyst, 141, Case Aid, 466, Groundskeeper, and 614, Policy Analyst Senior, and update classifications and adjust the pay grades upward for class codes 55, Training and Development Coordinator, 64, Human Resources Manager, 70, Peer Support Specialist, 529, Addiction Treatment Associate 1, 530, Addiction Treatment Associate 2, and 536, Addiction Recovery Mentor. Under Public Works, approve a resolution authorizing acquisition eminent domain of certain real properties for the Ellen Road Northeast at Butteville Road Northeast Roundabout Project. Approve the master subscription agreement with Asset Works Contracting Party in the not-to-exceed amount of $516,454.71 for the Fleet Focus Asset Inventory and Maintenance Management application that allows for enhanced management of Marion County's fleet assets with a term date of 5 years from execution.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Thank you. And we'll move into action where we're going to consider approval of a resolution to rename the Marion County Community Services Department. And Kelly's going to tell us about that.
Of course, thank you and good morning.
Good morning.
And I want to shout out Commissioner Willis for that consent agenda.
She understands.
That one was a particularly painful one, but you did amazing.
Thank you.
All right, well, my name is Kelly Weiss, and I'm the Community Services Director here at Marion County, and today I'm here to present the resolution to potentially rename our department from Community Services to Community and Economic Development. This change reflects the work and how we've evolved. It better represents who we are, what we do, and where we're going as a department. So over the past several years, our department's focus has really shifted. In the past, we managed more community-based programs like the Children and Families Commission and other human service-related initiatives, and those have since transitioned out of our department, and our efforts for community development and economic development have really expanded. So the name Community Services really no longer reflects who we are and what we do, and often causes confusion with some other unrelated programs, namely court-ordered community service hours, frankly. And from a practical standpoint, this is a really great time to do it. The county's new enterprise resource planning system is currently under development, and updating our name now will allow us to incorporate into that and only make this change once, consistency across our financial and HR processes. So our mission is to support Marion County communities in being vibrant, resilient, and economically strong. And we do that by supporting local businesses and initiatives, coordinating revitalization efforts, managing federal and local grant programs, and building partnerships that strengthen our cities and our rural areas alike. Every one of our programs contributes to these goals, connecting people to resources and opportunities to make our communities stronger. Our department is organized around several key focus areas, including community development, programs that support infrastructure, revitalization, and housing, grants and partnerships, receiving those funds as well as distributing those funds, and then special projects, things like emerging efforts around regional coordination and support for long-term recovery initiatives. And we do this with 3 primary programs, including our CDBG and Home program, our Economic Development and County Fair, and the Dog Shelter. So our CDBG and Home program, Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnership Program, are both federally funded through Housing and Urban Development, or HUD. To date, these programs have supported the purchase of 13 homes in Marion County and the rehabilitation of 35 additional homes, with another 6 projects on the way. Through this program, we've been able to allocate and fund $5.8 million towards community programs and projects. Just one example of that is the Silverton Area Community Aid Project, SACA. which has transformed a former restaurant into a community resource center that houses a food bank, offers job skill programs and housing support, and provides a shared space for community partners. I want to take a quick moment to recognize Steve Dickey, our CDBG and Home Program Manager, all hiding in the back. He's the real expert in these programs. And then our economic development program has become a major focus of our department. Funding for economic development comes from economic development lottery proceeds from the state, and we leverage those funds with other resources to bring even more funding into the community. This program supports local businesses through retention and expansion programs, like SEDCOR you just heard from, and provide funding for our local cities to support their prosperity and coordinating with regional partners on workforce-related initiatives as well as tourism. We're also proud to oversee the Marion County Fair, which not only celebrates agricultural investment and youth engagement, but also showcases the industries and community spirit that make Marion County a great place to live. Both the Economic Development Program and the Fair demonstrate how we invest in the county's vitality, supporting growth, connection, and community pride. This program is led by Chip Urey, our Economic Development Program Manager, and we're all so excited to have him as part of the team. And last but not least, the Marion County Dog Shelter plays a key role in community safety and animal welfare, and it's led by Lauren Bilke, our shelter manager. Under Lauren's leadership, the shelter provides exceptional care for stray and abandoned dogs, ensures public safety, and helps connect adoptable animals with new homes. Our shelter's performance metrics are well above national averages. The shelter's return to owner rate is between 50 and 55%, compared to a national average of 18% for open intake shelters. So that means that Marion County is able to reunite pets with their families 3 times faster than the national average, or 3 times more than the national average. The shelter also benefits from tremendous community support with 267 active volunteers, including 62 foster homes that help care for dogs waiting for adoption. In addition to the daily operations, the team places a strong emphasis on community education and responsible pet ownership, which helps prevent animals from coming to the shelter in the first place. So the dog shelter is a wonderful example of the compassion and dedication and community partnership that helps define our department's work. So in summary, the name Community Services really doesn't reflect the full scope of what we do today. Our work is about development, revitalization, and economic resilience, and the proposed name Community and Economic Development communicates that clearly to our partners, our residents, and the organizations that we work with. The change will hopefully improve clarity, strengthen our partnerships, and align our public identity with our mission and our programs. And with that, I'm open to any questions or feedback, whether about the proposed name or our programs or next steps with implementation.
I don't have any questions. I think it's great. And I also think that, Lauren, you're going to have to make a presentation on the dog shelter and come to the board. I think we don't often, we don't really skylight some of the other things that we do. We do hear a lot about the dog shelter, and we only hear the negative things. But there is a tremendous amount of positive things at the dog shelter. In fact, I really like going to the dog shelter, minus the noise. When you can do the one-on-one interaction with the dogs, I think they're better than people more often than not. So we need more volunteers to go down and become a volunteer at the dog shelter. But I'd love for you to put together a presentation and come talk about the work that you all do and how county taxpayer dollars are supporting that system. And then have a call to action with it. And I don't know if I told you guys, but I'm going to be meeting with them first, but soon we're going to be bringing forward a request to the Board of Commissioners on how to partner with Polk County and do some spay and neuter clinics in our community. It's been a request for 5 years by the public, and when I went on my walkabout a few weeks ago at Wallace Park, I was astonished at the number of more dogs that were there. And I was there for about 2 hours and I counted 7 litters, 7 puppy litters.
Wow.
It's actually, like drug trafficking. Puppy trafficking is a way for people on the streets to make money. And
Yikes.
we need to fix that.
Yikes.
I think it's becoming a crisis in our community, and we have control over this, right? It's something we can engage in. So I look forward to the presentation and conversation I'm gonna have with Lauren and her team, I think tomorrow. But just know that to a meeting near you, we're gonna be talking about it on a higher level, and it'd be great to be able to find some outcomes.
Well, and one of the things that I wanted to highlight, glad we're making this change, is the good work, the good economic development work that you guys do. I mean, the video that we created a couple of years ago has gotten around the community. People are really excited about it. I think the work that you guys do doesn't get enough recognition, and I think sometimes you have organizations that talk a lot about the work they do in economic development but don't actually deliver, and you guys actually deliver. So super proud of the work you do.
Are you referring to the cartoon video about business and the contribution businesses
Animated.
make? Huh?
It's much more, animated than
Animated.
cartoon.
Well, no, it's a
Animated.
great-
Yeah, it's animated.
It's a great video and it's probably timeless. It can be used today and tomorrow and forever, as long as we're in a capitalistic free enterprise society, I guess. Yeah. I want to say thank you, Kelly, for your presentation you just did. I made a note down here to say, John, post Kelly's presentation on
Social
Facebook,
media.
on social media, so we could put it out there, because you just did a great job. You introduced your staff. You just talked about the things that you do. And before you came up, after SEDCOR left, I wrote down a note and I passed it over, Commissioner, to the chair. I had Chamber and SEDCOR, and we invest dollars in both chambers and SEDCOR, and then the chambers surrounding every year, that we should convene those two groups and get them together. Because of my question to Eric was, the chamber does their forums, the Salem Chamber does their monthly forums. They take a few months off, but and brings in good speakers and good topics. And SEDCOR, and I think the quarterly thing would be good. And as Commissioner Bethel said, we could probably push some of the topics that we would want people to know. And I remember going to those meetings, and SEDCOR used to sponsor the state of the county. Was that before you? Yeah.
No, it was when I was here.
I was thinking it was before, obviously before COVID, and we used to share the projects at those meetings and what were going on, and I think the members of SEDCOR really appreciated it, and the business people. So there may be an opportunity for us to sit down with the Kaiser, Salem, the surrounding chambers that. Well, actually, SEDCOR is throughout entire Marion County, and maybe we rotate the quarterly presentations. You do one in Woodburn, we do one out in Staten, we do one here in Salem on an annual basis that the commissioners could participate in and talk about the economic development things that we have accomplished, as well as what we're working on in coordination with those organizations that are also supporting and doing that work too. So I just thought it was interesting that I wrote that down, and then you gave this presentation, and it was like, well, they have to work. We have to work together with them. They need some help, and we need some help.
We need
So,
some, we need,
yeah,
I
direction.
think, not to correct you, but I think we just need to enhance partnerships.
Right.
I think we do really good work in silos.
Leverage, yeah.
And we need to reduce those silos, and regardless of whether we fund them or not, I think they're partners that we should invite to the table and have a more consistent, robust, county-wide discussion on systems that we're investing in, outcomes that are produced because of that, and then listen. The very first SEDCOR luncheon forum that I went to, I was the director of the Chamber of Commerce in Kaiser, and I think it was like 2017. And it was a partnership between SEDCOR and Willamette Workforce Partnership, and they had 3 different individuals from across an industry, so agriculture, energy, business, maybe there was 4 because universities were there. And it was they used the cabinet making company that's in South Salem as the topic, and then they generated these different industries together to talk about how they all work together for advancement and growth. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I didn't even know what Land Workforce Partnership was before that, but I also hadn't really thought about the whole continuum that exists in economic development and or just in general business growth until that. And I think that's the goal, right? And government was a sponsor. Sam was there. That's when I first met Commissioner Montano, and appreciated his suggestion of like, the more we can get industry and business to thrive, the less the government has to engage and collect. And I really believe that. I know it's a local message only in Oregon, but maybe we can change it statewide. Anyway, anything else, Kelly?
No, thank you.
I want
very
to tell
much.
you thanks for taking this job. You're doing a really good job at it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I would take a
all of it.
motion,
Yeah.
Commissioner Cameron.
Oh, I guess it is my turn. Madam Chair, I will move that we approve a resolution to rename the Marion County Community Services Department to the Marion County Community and Economic Development Department and rename the department position title Community Services Director to Community and Economic Development Director.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Thank you,
Great.
Kelly.
Thank you very
and
much.
team, you're doing a great
Yeah.
job. All right. Commissioners, is there anything else you'd like to add for the record? We are at the end of our agenda today.
Oh, man.
Nope. We good?
Yeah, I am. I think.
Okay.
Really good.
I'm glad. I just
It's
wanted.
good to see you both holding down the fort this morning.
Oh, stop.
I was pretty proud of myself.
I know.
I was
You
super
should.
proud of you. When he pulled in, I was sitting in my car already and I was like, look at him. And then I was terrified as you were backing into your parking space.
I didn't know you were in your car. It surprised me a little bit when
Well-
I saw your door open.
I know. I backed in and I'm going, oh my gosh, I got to really pay attention to what's going on in here in my parking spot this morning. This is all behind the scenes stuff. So
Yeah.
we better quit.
Well, I'll pivot just quickly to say to both of you, thank you for your partnership and willingness to use some economic development dollars for the current SNAP situation that we have in Marion County.
Oh, yeah.
While it's really political and there's a lot of noise around it, I've had the opportunity since our first discussion as a board last Wednesday to be in conversation with Rick at the Food Share every day and talking to principals at schools across the county that are helping distribute these resources through elementary schools. And yes, food insecurity is more than just being hungry. And our representation in this space, what I have heard from our community leaders and neighbors is they appreciate being seen. While we couldn't have written a check for $22 million, the fact that we wrote any investment into this space recognized that we see the burden and the need and tried. And so some of them said, tell your peers thank you. So I'm telling you thank you, and they're saying thank you. Multiple partners throughout the county are working on getting those boxes out into the community. The SIT mobile team stood up yesterday. And on Friday, the primary distribution will happen in Salem Kaiser. So if you want to participate in that, it starts at 3 o'clock, and you can come and interact with families and just be present as they're moving those boxes at the fairgrounds. It's going to be the biggest distribution site. And I hope that Congress can get it together and open this week, so that way we don't even have to worry about it at all. And I hope the state can figure it out faster too, because they still haven't delivered on the $5 million that the governor allocated last week into the communities, and that makes zero sense to me. So, thank you.
Yeah, it was a good thing. But least we could do.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know that you said what we did on the microphone, but we,
I just said we allocated $100,000 so far in economic development dollars to the Marion Polk Food Share to purchase 4,500 food boxes for SNAP eligible individuals, with a focus on children, people with disabilities, seniors, and veterans is the primary population. But in general, they're working through their systems to make sure anyone SNAP eligible can get some food this week while this
and I
debacle
love the
is.
fact that we could look at Jan and say, make this happen, Kelly, make this happen, and it happened. We have staff that just
Like
that.
24 hours.
Right.
Yep.
Thank
That's
you.
what we do. Okay. Thank you. Anyway, we're adjourned.